Today, we are serving up something very special here on WDW Radio. This is not what my house looks like. I am instead at the Cake Bake Shop on Disney's Boardwalk for a truly special interview, live review, and tour of Disney's newest, hottest, and most incredible looking location on property. And I want to start off by welcoming the genius, the mastermind. She's known as Donut, but we're going to call her Gwendolyn Rogers. She is the founder, the creator, and the mind behind the Cake Bake Shop. Gwendolyn, nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Thank you so very much
for having me.
Thank you for having me. This is...
That was really what I was going for. There we go.
But wait, there's more. Because as if this was not enough, and I'm incredibly excited, in case you can't tell, we have a very, very special guest joining us. You may know her as the voice of Ahsoka Tano. You may also know her as the founder of her universe. I know her as, I think I can call you my friend Ashley Eckstein.
Hi, Lou.
It is so good to see you.
Cheers. Hi, Ashley. It's good to see you.
Thank you both so very much for helping to make what I'm very excited to be a very exciting, very delicious, stretchy pants day happening. Let's start off with a little toast.
Yes.
Cheers. These are beautiful, like, so
Cheers to the Cake Bake Shop.
what are we drinking?
You're drinking a lavender lemonade, and you're drinking a petunia punch.
And these are like special exclusive.
They are. I can't tell you what's in it. But I can tell you that we have a farmer who grows our flowers just for these two drinks.
Oh, that's lovely.
This is magic. This is magic in a glass. So wait, did you say you have a farmer that grows these flowers just for you?
Mm-hmm. And they don't sell them to anyone else.
Are they grown with the glitter on them, or do you add glitter? Everything is so
They're
glittery
magical
here.
flowers. Don't eat it though,
Okay.
because you might, who knows what would happen.
I'm not going to eat the flower because I have a feeling we're going to have enough to eat today, because we're going to try not one, not two, not three, but what looks to be a lot of cakes at the Cake Bake Shop. And I want to start by saying, too, the Cake Bake Shop, which is a beautiful name, is also a little bit of a misnomer because you're not just cake.
Correct. We're not. We are a full-service restaurant and a full bar as well.
Wow.
And we have one of the best bars on Disney property.
And you have, like, not just a few items. You have, like, it's like a Jersey diner menu. There are so many menu items on your menu as well for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Correct. Yeah. And we change them for the season. So we're always mixing it up.
We're going to have to come back. Like, we're going to do sweet today. We'll do savory another bit.
Yes, we'll have to. And I have to admit, Gwen and I are friends. I feel like we go way, way back. And this has become my new favorite spot. I mean, I come here for everything. If someone comes in town, I take them here. If I have a celebration, I take them here. If I am just craving something sweet, I come here. It's literally my favorite spot that I'm obsessed with.
I can absolutely see why. And this is such, like, we are in a private room in the back. This is one of multiple sort of little spaces. This is such, like, it's a wonderfully elegant, upscale, yet still comfortable experience, too.
Thank you. Good. I'm glad you like it. It's really pretty, and there's a lot of flowers.
There are a lot of flowers. And I have a feeling that your fingerprints are all over.
It is everywhere.
Yeah. We're going to talk, when we sit down.
Maybe not fingerprints, though, because I'm kind of a stickler on that. I'll make sure everything is nice and clean. And all the smudges up.
Yeah, because I definitely want to talk a little bit more about your story, too, which I think is fascinating on a number of levels. Before we sit down and get comfortable, because I have a feeling that once we sit, it's going to take us a while to get back up again. Could we maybe get a little tour?
I would love to give you a tour.
Great.
I have all kinds of things I could show you. If you notice in the middle, so this used to be ESPN. And I had to stay within the foundation of that, which is an octagon. It used to be 9 feet taller. As you can see, my ceilings are very high. But I cut the steel down, brought it down 9 feet. And then I wanted to create something that would be a nod to Walt. So that's why we have a carousel in the middle of the dining room. You can dine inside of it. I've got a beautiful chandelier inside. And the very top of the carousel slowly rotates, one full rotation every half hour. So you can see, no matter where you sit in the dining room, you can see the decor that we put on top.
And this changes seasonally, right? I was here for breakfast during the holidays, and you had this beautiful sort of winter wonderland scene on top.
Yeah, we have some mechanical reindeer or real reindeer, and then we have Santa Claus, and a 15-foot Christmas tree goes up in a so anyway, it's kind of fun. Thank you. All right, I'm going to take you to the patio. Thank you. So we do all of our afternoon tea events in here. And
I didn't know.
so this is our tea cart. We bring all of our tea in from France. So it's a Damian for our teas. And we have we do little tea parties with some of our dolls. We have our own rosé bubble champagne that I have grown, bottled, and labeled with France as well, which is made by Charles Boissier, who is a very famous French wine connoisseur. He's also married to Lisa Hallow. So they own a lot of Napa Valley as well. Anyway, so this is a very nice, gardeny room. So I had a whole garden put outside so that when you're sitting out, when you're here and you look out and TikTok, it's really
Do you know who has 2 thumbs and loves afternoon tea?
Is that you, Petunia?
I do. That name isn't going to stick, is it?
It is, yes. Sorry.
We might need to
Yep,
cut
you're the one that started. All right, so this is our outdoor patio. So all these windows, here, come on over here, I'll show you.
wow.
I won't keep them open because it's a little cold. Well, it's actually not too bad. Anyway, so I designed it so every window here opens so you feel like you're outdoors, but you're covered. So you still hear the music, you still have the ambiance and the light, but all the windows open.
Ash and I are literally sitting here about.
We're like,
Say what?
I did
So at night, when the sun, because the sun sets there over Crescent Lake, and as the boats are going by and the twinkly lights are everywhere, it is just gorgeous.
Okay, so we need to come back for lunch,
Yeah,
afternoon tea, and for
Dinner on the patio.
golden hour on the patio.
Well, so I'm going to take a different approach. I'm leaving. I'm moving in here. I now reside in the cake bake shop.
Perfect. I love it. And then this is the hostess area. So these marble inlays I had made in Indiana because no one in Orlando could make them. So I had a guy, he power jets out the space where the brass inlay goes. I have one here and I have one in the bakery, but we had to load them on a truck and ship them down here. And the day they got installed has crossed my heart that they wouldn't crack and break. But my contractor got it in. I was like, oh, thank you.
That's amazing.
Also, all the decor, we make all the decor in my warehouse. So before I got this deal, I was kind of counting on it that I was going to get it. And I always like to think that things are going to happen, whether I see the future. If I believe in it enough, then it comes true. So before I got the deal with Disney, I was looking all over the city to try to find a place to bake out of because I figured if I needed a spot, I would have to find a spot. And everything I looked at was dirty and old and expensive, and I couldn't cook out of there. So I found a piece of property in a new industrial park in Kissimmee, got a loan for a bag, bought one lot. I had Steve Brandon, who is Pam's husband, give me advice saying if there's a lot next to it, buy it. I was like, oh, I can't afford that. And he's like, just buy it. So I did. Thank God I bought 2 because now I have a 32,000 square foot warehouse, kitchen, and office space there.
Wow.
But that's where we make all of our decor. So that's
I love the fact, again, I was talking about sort of not your fingerprints, but your sort of signatures on a thing. Like you literally are touching every single aspect of the
I buy every flower. I buy every garland. I buy all the lights. I hired a girl named Jacqueline who helps me with the decor now, which is amazing because I used to do it by myself. And it's great to have someone who has the same vision as I do. And she's fabulous. She's young and energetic and adorable. So,
Well, you think of every single detail.
well, I try. I don't know. I don't know if I think of everything, but
I don't know.
at least I try to. Sometimes when I take things down, it feels empty. So I'm like, okay, well now I got to put something back up. So, anyway, it's fun. And then this originally was going to be our bar lounge, but we became so busy that we thought we'd turn it into a dining room. So it's a little bit of a lounge for the bar and a little bit of dining. These windows technically also open. They all have the handles. So if I wanted to, I could open up every window along the perimeter of the restaurant. But this room's really beautiful at night as well. I also have Lutron shades that I installed. So I have an automatic, as the sun is coming, the shades will come down and It makes it so it's nice and comfortable in here.
This chandelier takes the
Oh,
breath
and then,
away.
okay, so I have a little hidden gem in my chandelier. And I have a good story as to why it's there. But and do you want me to let you find it first? Or have I quite it?
So I see at the top of one of the candlesticks what looks to be a pink flower, a rose.
It's a pink rose. Good job. You found it pretty quick. Not that I was looking at it. I gave it. It was an easy giveaway.
Oh.
So that's one of my little hidden secrets, but I actually have that there because this is a custom-made chandelier by Schoenbeck, and it's 8 feet wide. And then when we hung it, one of the wires at the end of this arm somehow got severed. And so instead of taking it down and shipping it back, which I was never going to do, I was like, well, maybe I can find something on Amazon and I can hot glue it up there. So that's what it is. So now it's like one of my little hidden.
That's your version of a hidden Mickey.
Yes, that's my hidden Mickey. My little pink rose. And it's actually a wine topper, and I had to get a saw and saw off the top of it.
But it is one of those little Disney details, because that's one of the things, as soon as I walked in, like, this feels I feel like I'm in a jolly holiday with Mary Poppins, but it really does have that sort of Disney feel to it. And again, details matter, right? Everything speaks.
It does. And so this looks like an exterior bakery. So I have the exterior lights on the entrance to the bakery going from inside the restaurant. Also, all of these lights come from Bevelo, which is a lantern company in New Orleans, and are all handmade. And so this is a little bit of my nod to my own heritage. Sorry.
Don't get it.
This is our bar, which is one of my favorite places. In the bar, I also have some hidden lovebirds that are doing a little love dance.
I love that. Oh my goodness.
I noticed on the back of some of the chairs in the bar have little plaques on them. Can you explain what those
I can. So one of them is from Mahmood. I was telling you the story earlier. He used to be the head of food and beverage. So in honor of him, I put his name on the back of the chair, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. Mary Beth Besnero, so I have one, because she was one of my biggest cheerleaders of getting me here. Pete Carmelias, who was my operating participant guy. He's no longer here. He's now retired. But Pete was also a huge piece of it. I have my mom is on the back. And then I have Linda and Lee Scott, who let me use their kitchen when I had my first Disney meeting. Then I had to make all my cakes and pies, and they let me use their kitchen. And then I have Gina and Paul Rice, and they let me use their mixer. And now I have that mixer. She donated it to me 10 years later, and so now I have it. And so those are the people that were a big part of me being here.
I love the fact that you don't forget where you came from. Right? You have tributes to your home band of New Orleans, and that people that helped get you there too. Right? The Walt quote again: "It takes people to make the dream a reality."
It is.
As much as you are, literally not just the visionary behind this, but you're hanging the crystals around the chandeliers. But you do know that this was not someone that you did alone. So I love that.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, no one gets anywhere alone. And if it wasn't for my family, which, I have all men in my family, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be here either. So they were my biggest support system, which is really nice.
Love that. It's important to have help, whether it's the physical help or just, people believing in you and what you're doing.
Yeah. That's why I never lose track. Like, I think whenever I'm asked to give anyone advice, you never lose track of the people that come into your life, because when they come in, you don't necessarily know why they're there. And Ashley's a great example of that. And these people that you meet along the way have such a huge impact on what you do every day. And you may not even know it when you first meet them. So I always love to keep connections with people because it's so important.
I agree. I love it.
Yeah.
You might not know this, but we're becoming best friends.
Oh, good. Well, I know you're familiar. I'm sure I've seen your show or something. It's got to be. All right, so let's go into the bakery. This is the best part. This used to be the bar of ESPN. I brought the building out about 10 to 15 feet where the awning used to come out.
Yeah.
And then this was the bar in the back. So this is Brûlé, our dragon. We have a few little animals, and they all have their own story. But Brûlé's story is the best because he is a fire-breathing dragon. And he was trying to make his wish on his birthday cake, but he keeps relighting the candles, so he can't blow it out. So I am giving him the job that every morning he flies around the bakery and the restaurant. He lights all the chandeliers for me, but as he flies, because his wings are golden, all the glitter comes off of his wings. And so everything in the bakery sparkles, and that's because of Brulee.
This is what I mean about it. Disney, like, there's a story behind everything.
Yeah.
There's a reason for everything being here, and I love the fact that that's story-driven take.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And this is Prince Earl. So Earl is named after my Earl's Court chocolate cake, which is when I won a contest in London, made me think I could actually bake for people. He also looks just like my children. So all my boys look just like this. So he's designed off of my kids. But weirdly, all my 3 of them look the same.
You're lucky that they're all boys, and not to worry about having a
it's
like
easy.
teeter
Yeah,
brand.
it's really nice.
What, did you have a little plush that will?
And we have a little miniature one. We have a little keychain one.
So soft.
No, he's soft. And I just got a bunch of new ones. So this is my first one that I got. They now smell like sugar because his name's Brulee. So that we just got it yesterday.
Oh my God.
And then I had this one mechanic. So I sent him to a company in France that does all my mechanical animals. People wanted him so much. I literally just got him yesterday. So we have big Brulees. So there's one sleeping on the shelf over there. So we just got him. He smells like sugar. So when we walk by him, you can smell him.
My kids would absolutely lose them. Mind you, my kids are 21 and 19, that they would lose their marbles.
Yeah. I love it. And I make all of the retail. So I do it all by myself. I've got V is the gentleman sitting in the bar. He helps me with all the creative. If I have an idea, we start drawing it together and then he finishes it. So Brulee, so we have all of our hats, all of our t-shirts, every design and everything we make is something that I've made. And when Ashley came in with her for Universe, people was like, oh, someone's going to help me make some more retail, which is going to be great. So I'm super excited about that. I don't know if I was supposed to say that yet.
I was like, now I see why. I see why the two of you.
We're working on. We're cooking up some special
ideas. Yeah. And then every color has a reason behind it. So all of our teas have a colored label. All of the colors go with the candles. All the candles go with the pixie fetty that's on all the birthday cakes. So everything, all the Pantones they all go together. And the coloring sheets that the kids get. So every child gets a coloring sheet when they come in. All their coloring pencils are all the same colors as all the Canics and all the pixie fetty.
You've thought of everything. Like you've thought of every little detail.
Not really. I know I'm missing stuff. I made all these Easter baskets yesterday, so I made all those. I made 4. And then Drake's help. So we came up with like a recipe. I made those 4, and Drake is my youngest son, so he's in charge of retail. So he's now at the warehouse making more Easter.
Oh my goodness.
I love the fact that you are still making these by hand. Although we need to start talking about delegating. So.
I know, but then
I'm the worst person to get that advice.
I'm kind of good at it. So
and you love
not the delegating part.
Right, I can see that you love it too.
I want to do it. I mean, I could have people make those for me, but then I would probably redo it because that would kind of not.
Well, because of all this requests. So Gwen, I'm going to admit something to you. This is my first time in here. This is my first time in the bakery side. Mm-hmm. And as somebody who is a self-proclaimed and quote-unquote not a sweets guy, which is a joke because I think deep down I really am, I may be converted. This may be the day
I would love to convert you
into a sweets guy.
So every single thing we make in the entire restaurant is made from scratch by hand. No vegetable shortening. I don't use a vegetable shortening in any product we make. That's from pie crust to buttercreams to it, you name it. I don't use anything artificial, no fillers, no preservatives. So when Ashley comes in, anything that she's going to eat is actually good for you, unless you have an allergy against something.
I'm going to take that. So, and all I heard was eating at the cake shop is healthy. So that's
it is. It's good for you. And all my ingredients I import. So my chocolate comes from France and Belgium. My cocoa powder is Valrhona, which comes from France, which is the most expensive cocoa powder on the planet. They just raised the price of that like 75%. I will not change my cocoa powder ever, so it just makes everything just get a little bit more expensive, but it's worth it.
Yes. I can't wait to tell the story about when I first tried your cake. We'll save it for
then you guys are gonna try it. It's great.
I cried.
Today we just rolled out some savory items which we've never had before in the bakery. we're doing a cinnamon and sugar waffle, which I begged him. I was like, hey, we got to do it. So we're doing that. We just got our brulee cup last night as well. So he's new. We serve cocktails in that, ice cream sundae.
Oh, he's a mug?
He's a cup, yeah.
Oh.
And then we have a swan that is somewhere. We have swans everywhere.
I love your cup.
And then we have, like, I had Swig make me champagne flutes. So we have these little to-go champagne cups, which are really cute, and they're all sparkly. And then this is our rosé bubbles that we have. And then we have these really cute to-go plastic cups. So when you buy a rosé, we put it in a plastic cup and we put it in there so you to take that home. This is cute.
Think of everything.
Yeah. The fun. Okay, so on the savory side, so I'm now doing pie in a cup. So
that.
I only do it here at Disney because in Indiana, nobody's walking away with it and eating it. But here, we just rolled these out today as well. So this is the peanut butter roost pie in a cup. We're doing banana pudding with the vanilla wafers, our key lime pie, and then we're doing fruit and granola, which you can also get in the restaurant. All of our granola is homemade. I use gluten-free oats. I've been making this recipe forever. It's the best granola you'll ever eat.
I'm laughing because you can't see it off camera, but Ashley, the whole, it's like
Everything I was like,
she's a game.
I'm just blown away. I'm giddy. This is a little slice of heaven for me. You don't understand, and it never gets old. Whenever I walk in, it just makes me happy. Like, I'm so happy to be here.
That's so great.
Is that a chicken salad croissant?
So we have a chicken salad croissant. We have a ham and cheese croissant, and we have an egg. So we're doing a French omelet inside a croissant. And then we just got a Toastmaster back there, so we're heated up, and it's all hot, which is great.
Zach almost dropped the camera when you said that.
Let's see, what else can I tell you? Lemon bars, carrot cake. This will be the best carrot cake you've ever had. So I don't know if you like carrot cake. It doesn't have any nuts or any raisins, and I've got a great story as to where I got that recipe.
I like the no raisin part.
Yeah, no nuts, no raisins. But I'll have to tell you that story because I got it from a farmer at the market that I used to go and bring him free cake all the time to see if he would like it. Okay, I'm going to tell you really fast. He said, I've got my grandma's recipe. She's been passed away for 20 years. If I gave you the recipe, would you make it? I was like, sure, bring it on. He gives me a recipe card. It says eggs, flour, sugar, carrots, oil. That's it. There was no amounts. There was no instructions. There was no nothing. So I added a couple things. I added some nutmeg. I added some cinnamon. I just kind of winged it on how I was going to mix it up. Anyway, I brought it to him. He's probably 6'5", big guy. He started to cry. I was like, okay, I'm going to make this cake. I put it on my menu. I took it off for about a month thinking it was going to be a seasonal thing. I had people lose their minds. So it's been on my menu now for the last 10 years, and I'll never take it.
I love that. I love the story. I love carrot cake. We're sort of also burying the lead here. You're completely self-taught, aren't you?
Never been to.
You never went to culinary school in Paris.
No, I couldn't afford it. I went to school, but I had to drop out because I couldn't afford it.
But you taught yourself out of love and necessity.
Yes, and I love to eat, and I love food. And if I don't like it, I won't make it.
Yeah, you have to believe in what it is that you're serving.
Yeah. So I don't do any bone marrow stuff. Or smearing. I don't do that either. Or foam. I don't do that unless it's in a coffee drink.
I like that everything is completely authentic.
So, anyway, and I could go through the cakes if you wanted me to go through the names of what the cakes are. This is a raspberry champagne. In each cake, there's about a bottle of champagne in every single cake. It won't make you drunk, though, because we cook it out when making the meringue. This is our gluten-free mint chocolate chip cake, which was featured on Oprah's O List. This is our red velvet cake, which I add chocolate chips to it, so it's a little different than most, and it doesn't have a lot of food coloring, so it's not like a bright red. And we use all natural colors in there as well. This is our lemon blueberry cake, which just came on the menu today. This is the Earl's Court chocolate cake, which is the basic chocolate cake. This is our Neapolitan, which is strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate with strawberry buttercream. This is the birthday cake, which is usually always pink, but we made it blue for this season because the blue one is Brulee's cake. So we're going to honor Brule for the next 3 months and have it blue. This is a Millionaire cake. A Millionaire is chocolate, vanilla buttercream, homemade shortbread, and homemade salted caramel with a fudge on the outside. And then this is the cookie dough, which you all are going to try. And it's got a layer of cookie dough. It's an egg-free dough that we make that goes in the middle, and it's topped with little mini chocolate chip cookies. And then down here, we have a whole bunch of other stuff. So we've got our macarons, which we make. Everything's made from scratch. We got our fudge. We have peanut butter and chocolate. Our truffles are the only thing that we don't make from scratch here. I get these from a great company in Indiana, and they're amazing. It's the best chocolate in the world. So, and then we've got our orange macadamia nut and white chocolate cookies, and our chocolate chip cookies. We have magic bars, which is coconut and butterscotch and chocolate and graham crackers. And then our raspberry bar, which is shortbread and raspberry jam. We have our pixie jam that we make with our shortbread crumbled on top. And we have little blueberry crumb cakes. And then we have a gluten-free brownie and a regular brownie. And the gluten-free brownie is so good, you'd never know it's gluten-free.
I'm just shaking my head. It looked like the name of your restaurant should be the Cake Bake Shop and 200 other items.
200 other items.
Show your, because all the glitter is edible.
Oh, all the glitter, yes.
So all the glitter that you see is edible.
Yes.
So, and people can buy it, right?
Yeah, you can buy it. And you can spray it on whatever you want. And then we have little kids' journals. And then this is the little brulee cup. Look how cute he is.
So cute.
It's kind of fun. And then we have keychains and stuff too. We have a little more. So we have like little, everybody goes with a cake. So Earl is with his Earl's cakes. And then we have buttercream back here with his Neapolitan cake. And then we have Brulee with his little blue birthday cake. So, hey.
So smart.
So be careful, don't trip on that stanchion. And then Brulee sweatshirt just came out this morning as well. So I'm here.
I'm getting that.
Because we were putting out some of the new stuff.
I'm getting that and your pink one.
Yeah. And then this is a little like kid's blanket. So this is buttercream, and then it's got a little blanket stuffed inside. And then we do Christmas ornaments as well. So we have the blue birthday cake. I have all these made in Poland. And they're all handmade, and they're hand-painted with all of it. And our display thing is coming out later today. We don't have any of our... But I also make all the pixie camels, which are back there behind the display thing.
So brilliant.
It's a lot.
Adding the retail aspect to it, because you really, you're not quote unquote just a restaurant. You're really creating this incredible brand around the Cake Bake Shop, and obviously you can see by how busy you are this morning. Very, very
super fun. I love it so much. Best thing ever. Best job. Hey, this is Baxter.
Hello, how are you? I'm Lou. How are you?
So my fun story with Baxter is, we had already become friends, but I hadn't tried your cake yet because the Cake Bake Shop wasn't open. I hadn't gone to Indianapolis, and Baxter stopped by my house one day and just gave me a piece of chocolate cake.
Yeah.
And
That's right.
I remember I stood in my kitchen and ate it and literally started crying. Like, it was the best chocolate cake I had ever had in my life.
And it was gluten-free, too. Right?
It was gluten-free.
That one was
It was
gluten-free?
gluten-free.
Oh my God. Like, when I tell you it was the best chocolate cake I'd ever had in my life, it was the most magical delivery.
Flash your time. Happy to deliver anytime.
And now I can come and get it at any point. Then the Cake Bake Shop wasn't open yet.
That's right. So,
Still do house calls.
well, now we can, yeah, for sure.
Actually, I have. I've had cakes delivered. I've received them as gifts. It's a regular thing.
That's good. We love that. Everyone should eat cake every day. Yeah. So that's Star. When they took all this down, they threw everything in the dumpster and it was gone. But this, as I was at the construction site every single day, I saw this star in the back, broken in half, covered in dirt. And I was like, picked up all the pieces and put it in the back of my car. I brought it to my sign company, who did my marquee outside. And I said, is there any way you can repair this? And it had a big metal attachment where it went up onto the steel. So they took all the metal off. They repaired it completely. But the best part is when I was in the back of my car, there was a huge lizard hiding inside this crest of the star. It was all over my car. It freaked me out. Anyway, I finally got the lizard out. But anyway, so I bring it to the sign company. They completely restored it back to what it looked like the original paint. So it looks a little older. So then I had Baxter, who you just met, my son, put it in the back of his car, drive it to Indiana, bring it to my framer, because that's where my framer is. They framed it for me. Then I had Baxter drive it back because I couldn't ship it because we wanted to unattach from the back. It sat in my warehouse for 2 years. And then finally, before I opened, I got to hang it. And so this is my nod to ESPN for letting me be in this space. And it's such a beautiful, tribute that I will always honor the space that I'm in because of what was here before me.
That's what I mean. Like, people matter, recipes matter, where it comes from matter, the quality matters, the history matters to you. Like, all that is so important. 99% of guests aren't going to see that. They're not going to know the story. But yeah, I love the fact that it's here and it's important to you. And now hopefully other people can see as well. So I haven't tried anything. Yeah, I haven't had a single, despite the way I look, I have not tried a single piece of cake yet. But I think the most important ingredient, and I think you can tell the difference when you're making something, is a little bit of love, right? And I love the fact that you don't just put it into your cakes and all of your recipes, but you put it into the building as well.
Okay.
I see why you like her so much.
I love
It has
her.
nothing to do with cake.
I love her.
We should eat some cake now.
We should.
Let's eat cake. Okay. And
Let's eat cake.
Gwen, there's a story behind why we're here, Lou and I together. And so thank you for going on this journey with us. It's been many, many years. So let's sit.
Let's give a little bit of a history lesson because you're right. This has been a very long journey getting here. I don't remember how or where we first met. We've known each other a long time. I think the first time I interviewed you was at the Disney MGM studios during Star Wars weekends in the little back area behind the theater. Was a little corner there, and I think that may be the first time.
Yeah, we first met during Star Wars weekends. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but it's when Clone Wars first came out.
Yeah.
And I remember at Star Wars weekends, they had debuted a Darth Vader cupcake.
Yeah.
And I've told Gwen this. Yes, it was so good. It was so good. And I consider myself a cupcake connoisseur. Self-proclaimed, because I've been a judge on Cupcake Wars twice, and it was 2 of the best days of my entire life. I got to try 17 cupcakes in one day, and it was just magical. And from that point on, I considered myself a cupcake connoisseur. And so we were talking about how great the Darth Vader cupcake was, and I had said, Lou, wouldn't it be great if we went and taste tested all the cupcakes at Walt Disney World and then picked our favorite?
That was the greatest day of my life.
It was pretty great. It was a great idea.
And so we've talked about it now for probably this is 2025, almost 15 years.
Have you never done it?
We've never done
You've
it.
never done it?
So this is a dream,
Oh my
15
gosh.
years in the making.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
And so instead of trying the cupcakes at Walt Disney World,
You're trying cake.
we're trying cake at the Cake Bake Shop.
Some
when
things you're
matter.
waiting for.
Yes.
Oh, I love it so much.
So thank you for making
Oh my
this
gosh,
possible.
you're the brusher.
Well, I try and teach my kids all the time. Like,
It better be
sometimes
great.
in life there are little disappointments, but there's a plan because there's something better down the road.
And this is
To
way
those
better.
kids who are, instead of a couple of cupcakes, we have the entire Cake Bake Shop and Gwen.
Right.
So
I like it.
So I guess our goal is, out of all of these, we have to pick our personal favorite. Which is
But
gonna
you're
be
also
so hard.
going to be going up pie against a cake, which is against a bar, if that's okay. So we're going to expand that judgment onto more than just a cake. Does that sound fair?
I should have worn sweatpants. I should-
Me too. Okay.
Funny.
Okay, well,
This is your home. This is your show. You tell us
Okay, what you're going to start
what we need to do.
Okay, we're going
how
to
to-
start with, if you want to, maybe we can do it into different categories as well.
okay.
So we can start with all the cakes. So the ones you have in front of you, we're going to go a little lighter, and then we'll go to the chocolate ones after, so that you start with a fresh palette. So right in front of you, Lou, you have the lemon blueberry cake. It's a lemon cake with fresh blueberries with lemon zest inside. We've got a lemon curd, and a lemon buttercream. And then it's got fresh blueberries on top and on the inside of the cake. So it's very much like it's a little denser cake. And it's kind of like a muffin, but better. Oh my God. So that's what you have in front of you. Ashley, you have the cookie dough cake, which is a vanilla cake with little miniature calibo chocolate chips in it. We have a layer of cookie dough between two of the layers. And the cookie dough, we don't put any egg in it. So it's just a very soft, pliable, delicious cookie dough full of chips. And then we have a vanilla buttercream on the outside with a little miniature chocolate chip cookie on top. So it's kind of like cookies and cream, or milk and cookie kind of scenario.
I think I actually just started drooling.
And I recommend every cake that we make served at room temperature. We make everything with just butter. So if it gets refrigerated, it tends to dry out, and we don't put anything artificial in any of the cakes. So room temperature is best for any cake.
I like that. I don't like it when the cake is too cold.
Well, then the buttercream falls off and all that. But some people like cold cake, so it depends on what you like. But ideally, it's a little warmer.
Yeah, she's now this hang.
Yeah, I don't discriminate. I like all cake,
Anytime.
but especially cake from the Cake Bake Shop.
So I don't know if you want to start with those
Okay.
two, and then
Actually, ladies first.
Okay, and I have a whole bunch of blueberry. Yeah, we have a whole bunch of forks. So blueberry, I have to say, is my I love blueberry pancakes, blueberry pie, blueberry anything.
Oh my gosh. I have I make the best blueberry pie I've ever had. I mean, we went blueberry picking, and do you like that one?
She's having the moment.
Love it.
So good. But I have to tell you my pie story. So we went, I took the boys and we all went blueberry picking, and I had just buckets. I had a huge bucket of blueberries. So I made a couple of blueberry pies. We literally sat at the dining room table, didn't even take it out of the shell and cut it. We all had a fork and a spoon, and we ate the entire pie in about 5 minutes. It was gone like that. It was so good.
Lou, you have to
Did you like it?
When it's so good.
I'm so glad. It's fresh blueberries that make it so good. And when we're making that batter, it's so beautiful. We dump in this just tons of blueberries into it, and we stir it by hand so that we don't crush the berries.
And it's glittery, too.
It has a little glitter on it.
I'm very excited. Come on.
I kind of feel like I should leave the room.
We're having a moment. We're having a moment.
That's my favorite cake. It's the only one I've tried so far. But right now, this is my favorite cake.
It ranks up there.
I'm with you. I love blueberries. I love blueberry muffins. Blueberry pie is the best pie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God! So buttercream, it's so light. It's so light.
And it's not too sweet. We don't put
As I say, it's not super sweet, which I really like.
Mm.
And it's not your typical, I think when people come to bakeries, they have an expectation as to how sweet it is or what it's made out of. And because we don't use a lot of sugar in our buttercream, because we make it all from scratch with the egg whites, and we heat it up with the sugar and we whip it until it turns into meringue. And then we throw the European butter in there with a little bit of vanilla. And that one's got fresh lemon juice and lemon zest in the buttercream itself.
We'll have another piece.
Yeah.
We have to pace ourselves, Lou.
I know you guys have a lot to taste.
It's just okay.
It is more like, it's like a muffin.
It is.
It's like dense like a muffin.
And that's intentional.
Which means it's a perfectly acceptable breakfast.
It is, actually. It's a fruit serving as well. So it has fruit.
With like a little cup of tea or a cup of coffee. That's a nice day right there.
It is. Wait till you get to the carrot cake.
Okay.
That's like the best item on the planet. Okay, so now
Grab
we're going to
more
move
forks.
to the
Have our conveyor belt of cakes. I don't want to. There you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I have a very good friend, two friends, Matt and Angela Lanter, who dream about their cake.
Okay, they're so adorable.
So, Lou, I
You
think
have
you
to
just
get
get
a little
bite
bit
of
of
everything
everything in
in
there.
time.
So also in between the layers, I want a little layer of chocolate ganache as well.
Oh, I'm just about to take a big bite because I want all of it. Oh. Mm.
It's so good. That's why I should leave, because, and you have to be honest. If you don't like it, you have to be like, this is the worst cake I've ever had in my life. You have to know. It's like, And you have buttercream right there.
Oh,
Which is
that's
even
how you know
better.
it's good.
Don't tell her.
Yeah, just
All right. But I'm her, true friend is going to tell you.
we need to do like a short video of just Ashley's reactions to each cake.
It's so good. You know, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the candy where it's like you're eating it and then it's like different flavors. As you take a bite of this, you're like, oh, the cake. Oh, the cookie. Oh, the chocolate chip. This is mind-blowing.
What are you doing?
Lou, you just took the cake away from me.
Well, you can have the rest of the lemon cake.
Cute. All right, you ready for the next one?
No, wait, no.
No. Okay.
I'm having one more little bite. One more little bite. What's your favorite cake?
I have a few. Okay, I have a few, so I can't just pick one favorite. But my actual favorite cake that we don't really make very often is the hummingbird cake. That's my favorite. So it's pineapple and pecans and banana and cream cheese, and that's pretty much one of my favorites. But we will bring that on probably in the summer. But that's not my favorite. I also love the carrot cake. Carrot cake's amazing.
I probably shouldn't say this because it's only the second piece of cake. Is this the best cake I've ever had?
I don't know. Is it?
I don't know. I mean,
You can't.
right now,
You can't answer that yet.
my God, that's good. Like, that's like life-changingly good.
It is
Not-
life-changingly
like,
good.
I'm not saying it because you're here.
So, Gwen, this is actually considered a seasonal cake. This
It is.
and the lemon blueberry.
Oh, don't take this away.
So,
Oh yeah, it's not here for very long.
So
y'all, seriously, run to go get this cake. Like, don't let it go away without trying it. It's so good.
And we have one more seasonal too that is not out here for display, but we have our Neapolitan, which is it's a chocolate layer, a strawberry layer, and a vanilla layer with strawberry buttercream, and it's delicious. It's so light. It tastes like a strawberry milkshake.
So is this like your spring?
It's our spring.
And to you, when does spring end? Like, I need to know a specific date.
Well,
so
we just literally started it today. We're going to run it for 3 months, and then we'll switch over to summer. And then that'll run for 3 months, and then we switch over to fall.
So if I bring my own little name plaque, I just put it on a chair so I can come in every day just to have this
Stick
cake.
it wherever you like.
All right.
Okay, you guys ready?
Well, I'm ready for some carrot
I
cake.
don't want to move on.
Oh,
And you
so
can go
good.
back to
Like, I
whichever
feel
one
like
you're
I'm cheating on a chocolate cake now.
So Lou, we do need a palate cleanser. You need to make sure you take a sip of water.
Definitely do a palate cleanse.
You're like a professional cake
I
taster.
mean, I learned that at Cupcake Wars.
It's pretty impressive, but you can't drink too much water because then you'll get full, and you guys have
That's
long
true.
Oh,
Oh my gosh,
you got to get slow and
can't
steady.
get full.
Don't go.
Never let go, Lou. Never let go.
Now, the carrot cake is probably one of our simplest cakes that we make. We finally shred the carrots. Everything's shredded by hand. It's a little bit of spice. Our frosting is just cream cheese, butter, and vanilla with a pinch of salt. Now, that with a cup of coffee is my favorite thing.
When I love something so much, I get giddy. Like, I just can't stop laughing. You're sweating. It's so good.
Oh my God.
Goodness.
That chocolate cake was so 2 minutes ago. I love that little bit of spiciness to it. And thank you very much for taking the raisins out. I prefer my carrot cake nice and simple.
And I prefer it with no nuts.
Yep, no
I can't
no raisins.
stand nuts in my carrot cake. It ruins it.
Well, and this is just very simple, which the flavors
It's
just
so
speak
good.
for themselves. That to me is one of my favorite cakes.
And
It's dense, but it's moist.
and the cream cheese icing is perfection.
Okay, you ready to move on?
Perfection.
All right, so this is the raspberry champagne.
Okay.
So this has our pixie raspberry jam on the inside. In between each layer, it's a vanilla cake that we soak with a champagne simple syrup, which simple syrup is just sugar and water that we melt together. And then we add the champagne to that, and then we soak the cake once it comes out of the oven.
Did I hear you correctly before that there's like an entire...
There is approximately an entire bottle of champagne per cake. because when you add it into the layers in between and then you frost it on the outside. So, but it won't get you drunk because we cook it out through as we're making the buttercream.
Now, why champagne? Like, how does champagne?
Because this is a very delicate, light cake, and the women love it. And this is a great cake for bridal showers, weddings, anniversaries, and because it's so light, but it also has the softness of the raspberries and the sweetness from the raspberries. It's a very delicate.
Blue that melts in your mouth.
And the fresh raspberries, and we're big sticklers on the raspberries. So as we do each layer, we'll do a dam of buttercream on the bottom, so that usually we try to keep it from soaking into the cake, but there's so much juice in every berry that it ends up soaking through regardless. But then we'll put a layer of the raspberry jam in between, and then we literally will pick through the clamshells of raspberries and pick the biggest and plumpest ones, and then the ones that don't go in the cake I end up eating.
Gwen, I know that there's words coming out of your mouth right now, but I can't actually process what it is that you're saying.
And can you get a little bit of the champagne flavor that's in there?
It's so light, and it's so like
air.
Yeah. It's amazing sort of the difference in the density between the two.
So I have to admit, I have tried this cake before. I hosted a holiday party and kind of did a little cake tasting and had, I think, 4 of your cakes. And this was actually everyone's favorite. This was the front runner. It's delicious.
I'm glad you like it. If you want to try any other cake that I have in the bakery, I'm more than happy to let you try all of them. That way you can get a real verdict as to which one you like the best. So I'll tell you what we're missing. We're missing the Neapolitan, the mint chocolate chip, which is the gluten-free, the Millionaire, which will blow your mind because it's so good. I'm kind of thinking I need to go do that. I'll be right back. Are you guys have it in you to do it?
I mean, Gwen, I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing this for you. Okay. So
I mean, it's been 15 years in making, right?
We're doing our civic duty.
Okay, perfect. So I'm going to leave. I'm going to go get those other couple of pieces of cake, and then you can talk amongst yourselves. Feel free to.
Yes, we want to talk about you while you're gone.
You can talk about me while I'm gone. I will be right back.
She's the nicest person in the world. And I love, you can tell the sincerity of the love that she's putting into this place. This is not, quote unquote, just a business to her. This is something that really comes from a foundation of, passion about this.
So I've literally had the pleasure of getting to know Gwen. We met in 2021, and we actually met at Walt Disney World. We both had the opportunity to go to a media event for the 50th, and it was a magical night to begin with. We got to see the new 50th fireworks, and it was a relatively small group of people. And standing right behind me was Gwendolyn Rogers, and I was introduced to her and to her and her family, and she's just as magical, even more magical than you would think, and we've become friends ever since. And what you see is what you get. She is genuine beyond belief, kind, so kind. This is her dream. And so I like to tell people that when you come here and you're eating her cakes and celebrating birthdays or baby showers or whatever celebration you come here for, you're also supporting one woman's dream. And just like Walt had a dream, this has been Gwen's dream. And and as she said, she's very open about. She didn't do it alone. She has her family and her amazing team. Her team is very loyal to her. Several of her team members literally moved from Indiana to Orlando to help her open this restaurant.
I would do this cake too.
I know. So I can't gush enough about her because she is the real deal. So I have no problem coming here as much as I can, because it can be hard to get a reservation sometimes, but I come here as often as I can because I want to support her. It's not only is the food top-notch, is the dining experience top-notch, but you're supporting such an incredible person.
And you and I had talked before this. We'd seen each other a couple of times, and you were telling me when you were talking about the cake bake shop, you weren't talking about the cakes, you were talking about the person. And I was like, that's really impressive, because in the few minutes that we were chatting, even before we started recording, I was able to tell, like, this is not a business that's in part of her portfolio. This is truly, like, we talk about passion projects. This is a passion project, and she's here all the time, and she's making sure that every detail matters, every part of the story matters. And as she was going through, I was like, you're right. There's a lot of, like, Walt in the way that she does things.
Yes. Oh my gosh. And then she just brings in more cake. Oh, goodness.
This is the gluten-free one right there. That's the Millionaire.
Wow. And one of these is Oprah's favorite,
The
right?
one is.
Oh my
So
gosh.
how does that happen? How do you become one of Oprah's favorite cakes?
Well, let's see. I make hundreds of them. I ship them to any address that I can find that says Oprah on it. I finally get a phone call from someone at Oprah's office in New York, and they have me ship like 5 or 6 other versions. They know they're doing like a spring spread, and they want a certain color. So I come up with butterflies. I come up with all these different ideas. I sent the carrot cake. I mean, I sent every cake that I make. They ended up picking the mint chocolate chip. And when I was actually in Savannah, because I took my Baxter, who you just met, he was applying for colleges and he wanted to go to the Savannah College of Art and Design. So I took him there to do an interview, and I was in the hotel, and they called me when I was in the hotel, and I thought she was joking. I was like, are you kidding me? She's like, no, we decided to pick your mint cake for the Opus Olis. I like started crying on the phone. I couldn't believe it. But it took a couple of years. So that did not happen overnight.
Again, so there's the other side of what I do is I work with creators and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and sort of help them turn what they love into what they do. And I love that about you. Like, I'm just going to look in the phone book and I'm going to start sending cakes to anybody whose name is Oprah, and that you continue to sort of pursue that vision and that goal that you have. And it pays incredible dividends.
I actually have a good story that goes with that. So I heard through the grapevine that if you're ever on Oprah's O list, you will get hundreds of orders, and your phones will, clog up with phone calls. And I was working out of my Broderville location, which was tiny. I mean, my kitchen was maybe 300 square feet. It was teeny tiny. And I was like, how am I ever going to keep up with demand if that's the case? So the second they told me I was going to be on it, I went in with a couple of girls that worked with me. Every single night we made 10 cakes a night. And Cisco, who was our food supplier, agreed to let me use their huge freezer in their warehouse. So every night we would make those 10 cakes, we would freeze them, pack them up to get ready to ship. I had hundreds of cakes. By the time it came out in the magazine, I was ready. But it was nights and nights of long nights of making cakes. And some nights were like, I can't do it tonight. We did it anyway. So it ended up that I didn't get the big blow up that I thought we were going to get. So I had a few hundred cakes in a Cisco freezer that I couldn't afford to lose the money on. I had to sell them at some point. I was like, I have to sell these cakes because I can't take that kind of loss on that. And so I was like, what am I going to do? So I thought I'm going to go to any company that ships cakes nationwide. So I found Williams-Sonoma on Googled it. Where do I send stuff to? I put a presentation together, went to FedEx, had it all made up. I spent 2 weeks on my computer trying to sell myself in the stores to what my brand is, to get them to agree to, sure, we'll put your cakes on our website. And actually it's funny, the college student story is then Weston, my middle son, was going to go to Wabash. So I took him to Wabash for an interview, and I got a call from Williams-Sonoma while I was at Wabash. And they said, we love your story. We'd love to feature one of your cakes. Can you send us a bunch of samples? I sent them 5 mint chocolate chip cakes. And they said, what else do you have? And they had a whole category of what else I made. And still to this day, that was, Weston's been out of college for 2 years now. So that was 6 years ago. I've been on Williams-Sonoma ever since.
That's amazing.
I sold those cakes in about a month. They were gone.
Wow.
And that's why I got on Williams-Sonoma.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Again, completely self-made. You can do it.
Right.
Yeah, and
You just have to do it. You just have to hustle.
Right. Nobody gave this to you. Nobody sort of opened it. You found the doors and you opened them yourself. I kind of want to switch seats with you. I want to sit next to Gwen.
No, you're okay. You guys have to try it there.
I do. I'm just so incredibly impressed with the journey.
Thank you. It's also fun. It's hard, but it's really fun all at the same time.
And the fact that you didn't, when you had to make 200 cakes, you're like, all right, now let me go outsource this to some sort of a co-packer or something.
Oh, yeah, no.
You're like,
we
no,
make
I'm
them all. I've had a lot of veins taken out of my legs from standing in hours and hours of standing in the bakery. So baking. So, and I'm really grateful that I don't have to do that anymore. When I come up with a new recipe, then I do it, but I'm not in the bakery like I used to, making hundreds of cakes at a time. So it's kind of nice.
I want to go to her house for Christmas.
I have gone to her house for Christmas, and it's so magical. She taught me how to make like homemade bolognese sauce, and it was like one of the best days of my life. I don't know why I'm whispering, but
I don't want to tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. Do you know what my favorite food in the whole world is?
bolognese. No.
Okay.
She makes the best bolognese. So
when we just went to New Orleans to celebrate Weston's 25th birthday, and one of the questions around the dinner table was, on your last meal, what would you eat? All three of my sons said bolognese because we make it all the time.
wow.
What's my death row?
I get it.
Did my job.
I get it.
It is my death row meal.
Okay, well then that's your next episode. Learning how to make bolognese with Gwendolyn Rogers.
I'll make it for you. So eat it. All right. So speaking of eating, now you have to eat. Okay, now. So now, which one do you want to go to next? I would probably say this one for last because it's the richest. So maybe I would do the red velvet next. Okay, so the red velvet's a little different as well. I don't make it like everybody else. Well, maybe you taste it and I'll tell me different.
I had this the other day, and I loved it so much. Gwen, it's giving the chocolate cake a run for its money. Lou, it's so good.
Don't you talk bad about my chocolate cake.
I won't say anything.
So wait, I want to make sure I get some frosting, so I do this.
The chocolate chips.
The chocolate chips is what makes it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it gives it a little bit more texture.
It's so good.
So when I'm baking this cake specifically, I have to, it rises a lot and it domes, so I cut the top off. This is the best cake topper food ever. I could eat 50 of them because it's a little crunchy on the outside and it's super soft, and then I'll eat it when it's warm, right when it comes out of the oven. It's so good.
Is that the perfect blend of really good cake whose flavor on its own is so good, and then you sprinkle in the chocolate chips?
No. Were you just apologizing to the cake?
I did. I'm so sorry. It's like you're cheating.
It's the Catholic Italian guilt. I'm sorry. Cake energy saw it.
So I didn't expect myself to love this so much. I really, really love it.
Good. So good. They're all different. They're all like, it's like having a bunch of different babies. Like you can't love one more than the other. They're just different.
I don't think I'm going to be able to pick a favorite.
No.
I thought I was like, it's all downhill after the chocolate. I like.
Okay, then we're going to go to this one next, actually. I have to think about it. Okay, so this one, you'll have to have a little bit of each layer. So the strawberry, it's so good.
I've never had your strawberry cake.
So the buttercream has a little strawberry in it as well.
It's really light.
It will remind you of being a little kid. That's what it reminds me of. You know those ice cream bars when the ice cream truck used to go by, and they're strawberry with little things on the outside. Oh, I can't remember what that's called. It's like a strawberry shortcake. That's what it reminds me of.
You know what? It reminds me, and I don't mean this disrespect, but I feel like back before preservatives and additives were added to everything, when I was a little kid, I feel like the box cakes were a bit more simpler. And my mom used to make me a strawberry cake with strawberry icing, and that takes me back to my childhood.
Oh,
it's so good.
See, that's like ratatouille to me. I love that. If anything brings or evokes some sort of memory,
it's so
that's a drink.
Sweet and delicate. Oh.
How do you get so much strawberry flavor in that?
Strawberries.
So real fresh strawberries. real strawberries, not flavoring, like real strawberries.
So kids, if your mom or dad is telling you you need to eat more fruit, you just come to the cake bake shop. Because there's fruit in almost everything.
A little bit of cake gonna be good for you.
Oh my God.
I'll have to try a chocolate part too, just to...
Yeah, and that's like that famous ice cream, the Neapolitan ice cream. So that's a
So
little
good.
bit of everything, which I was eating
Kid.
like when I was little.
Right, taking the lid off and you had the 3 different...
Yeah, and someone would eat just one flavor out of it.
That was me.
That was
chocolate was
That
gone.
yes.
For the strawberry.
That was my husband.
Okay,
so where do we go
We
next?
to the gluten-free next.
Okay. See,
And this one you had.
I have not had
You've
your
not
mint
had this one?
chocolate.
Oh.
No.
Okay, good. You're in for a surprise.
Oh, I'm very
I
excited.
like it.
So this is Oprah's favorite.
That is,
mint.
it was on her O list, but the one that was on the O list was not a gluten-free cake. It was just a regular chocolate cake. But because I always want to have a gluten-free on the menu all the time, this is a really good gluten-free option.
I love the fact that you said all the time, right?
Yep,
This is
we
not
always
something
have.
that occasional. So there's always something that, because having a menu that's accessible to people with either certain requirements or certain...
Right. It's a good sign.
He's so clean. Half the cake fell over.
I love it.
I think you wanted to just say, oh my God, it's so good before you actually...
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't know that's gluten-free. I've had so many gluten-free cakes. You wouldn't know.
Yeah, and it's hard to do because there's some gluten-free does not taste very good.
I think somebody in the back made a mistake and put gluten in here
Yeah.
because there's no way I would know
Yeah,
that it's not gluten-free.
Wow.
which is good. Good gluten-free option.
Oh my gosh.
It's like if a Thin Mint...
I was just
had
gonna
a
say
baby,
that.
it would be this.
It's totally that.
Mhm. And it's got the little mini chocolate chips on the inside.
And it
Chocolate chips, that's
Yeah.
the secret.
it is giving me mint chocolate chip ice cream too.
Mhm.
You have to if a thin mint and mint chop I can't talk. A thin mint and mint chocolate chip ice cream had a baby, it would be that too. Yeah.
How are you guys feeling? You only have one more. Wait, do you have one more to go? You have 2 more to go on the cake side.
I'm in it to win
All
it.
right, I'm really proud of you guys.
I
Very proud.
see now I am a chocolate girl. Like I'm always going to skew towards chocolate.
Okay.
And this is which?
This is the Millionaire case. So this one has
So good.
it has the layers of Valrhona chocolate cake, which is that cocoa powder we were talking about from France. It has homemade salted caramel, which all of my sons have worked in my bakery since the day I opened. And Drake used to be my caramel guy, and he's my youngest, who's now 22. But after he had multiple burns on his arm from stirring the caramel, I was like, okay, so I pulled him off. So now it's in the warehouse. But all the salted caramel is amazing. And then it's got homemade shortbread cookies in between the layers and also a layer of chocolate ganache. And it's got a vanilla buttercream. And then it's topped with the homemade caramel and the shortbread.
I've had a little nibble of this before, and because I love Millionaire shortbread like bars and cookies, and this was even better.
Yeah. And I took this off the menu here when I opened just for a month. I got in a lot of trouble.
There were riots.
A lot of guests were really mad at me, so I immediately put it back on.
Oh.
And only took it off so that I could put a different cake on. But yeah, so now it's back.
This is so good it like makes me angry.
Okay. Like it's so. I don't want you to be angry. That's not
No,
the
but-
right emotion.
No, but in a good
What
way.
are we going for?
No, in a good way. You know, when it's something so good, people are like, I'm mad at it. It's so good.
The first one that came to my mind, I was like, this cake is like, it's like luxurious. And she's like, this cake makes me angry. Oh my God.
But
look,
in the best way. Like
that's,
that caramel.
I expected this one when I looked at it, I expected it to be very heavy, super sweet because of all the things. It's neither. It's neither. And the other thing too, right? So for those listening on the podcast who obviously can't see this, we're going to have clips and put video up as well. But let's talk about the sizes of these. These are not slices of cakes. Like this is like the size of a cake that just is in slice form.
They're all shareable.
Right? These are not. You don't expect one human being to eat this by themselves.
You know, I'll be honest. I don't think we've had a lot of people finish a whole slice. But I think a lot of people will get a slice so that they can eat part of it and then take the rest of it home. And
you know what I see too? Like even in the morning, I'll see people come here, they'll grab one to go, and then they take it back to their room to doing that little morning coffee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've been here for dinner many times, and let's say on average you bring 6 people. We've traditionally gotten like 3 desserts, and everyone just picks at it, and it's been more than enough. But more often than not, then people get dessert to go because it's that good. They're like, yeah, but I need it for the next morning, and I need some for breakfast.
And you don't want to go home empty-handed because there's always someone at home like, did you bring me anything?
Yes.
And you have to say yes.
Well, word is spreading about the Cake Bake Shop. Word is spreading fast. And when people they see your iconic bags, the reusable bags. And if you come home with one of those bags and there's not food to share, people are getting angry.
Good, I love it. That's where the angry comes in.
It's perfect. I know. If my friends know me, if I say like, oh, I'm mad at it, that means I love it.
Means you love it.
I love it.
That's good.
Yeah.
I actually picture Ashley picking up, you have all the best intentions. Like, I'm going to bring some cake home for David. We're going to share it. And you're sitting at the stoplight in your car, just reaching over, like taking full. And by the time,
She would never.
by the time she gets home, David has like a quarter of a cake left.
Well, no, that is kind of me. But my husband's not really as much of a dessert person. But he comes and he loves your steak and frites.
Yes, which is
Steak and frites.
that's it. I love it.
So he comes here for the savory. I come here for the sweet.
Oh my God, it's so great. Yeah, you'll have to get for dinner.
Okay.
Can you cancel all my appointments for the rest? I'm going to be here until time
Okay.
close.
Oh, not till 11 o'clock
Oh.
tonight. We're open 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. every day.
So I could do like breakfast.
You could stay all
lunch,
day.
snack,
Yeah,
dinner.
You can hang out with
And
me
like,
all day long.
I'm a late night snacker.
Or you-
Ooh.
Yep, you can stay with me all day.
You can be my neighbor because I've moved in and
Oh.
that room over there.
And with the, like, on a day
That's
like
why
today,
we
you
feel
open up
holy.
those windows, which that's like my
And it
favorite.
was like great.
Okay, Lou. This is the cake that made me cry.
Yeah, this is the one that made me go, okay, I guess I could probably do this for a living. Maybe.
So very quickly, right? And I would love to have a longer conversation with you about the business of your business because I'm fascinated and I've got thousands of questions. When does that transition happen from, someone who is making cakes that are not just popular at home, from your home, but popular with other people as well? When do you start to say to yourself, I think I can turn this into a business, and sort of how does that transition happen?
Well, that's a great question. But when I first started, I baked out of my house for 8 years before I opened anything. And some of the best advice I ever got was from one of my husband's good friends who's a banker. And he said, you don't want to invest in something or borrow money and open something and not know that it's going to do well, or not know that you're going to have a following of people who are going to like what you do. So for 8 years, that's why that when I made the carrot cake for the farmer market gentleman, is that I would go all over the city and bring food and cake and anything that I was making to give to someone, saying, here, try this, tell me if you like it. Try it, tell me if you like it. If you like it, then great, I'll make it again. If you don't like it, or if there's something that you want me to change on it, let me know. And I obviously always had my opinions as to what it was, but any recipe that I ever had, I always made notes on it. I wrote the date, I wrote who I gave it to, what I changed, what I added, what I took away. And that over an 8-year period compiled to, okay, I think I can really do this, because I got so busy. We didn't even own a home. We were in a rental. But I was so busy with people making orders that I was stepping over bags of flour and sugar in my dining room. And I had to get another refrigerator. My kids, I had 3 sons, and my boys were like, Mom, there's no food here. It's eggs and milk in the refrigerator and butter. Like, this is crazy. So I thought, okay, well,
They like
maybe
the school calling, like, ma'am, why are you sending your kids to school with nothing but cake for lunch?
well, and I would cook a lot. So I did a lot of teacher appreciation events. So all the parents would volunteer. And every time I volunteered to do a teacher event, no one else would do it with me. And I was like, okay, well, now I'm the only mom doing it. And when I moved, so then
Because you were making the other moms look bad. Just, you know.
wow, but not intentional. I was like, come on, this is a fun group effort. But I ended up doing them by myself. And then those teachers then would say, well, we're having a dinner party. Can you make this for me? And then it just evolved like that. Also, when I moved to Indianapolis, I was in my late 40s. I don't play tennis. I don't do yoga. I wasn't like that mom. I was the mom that was with my kids all the time. All I cared about was being with them. I didn't like dropping them off at school. I hated it because I was like, well, now what am I going to do? Like all my buddies are gone. So I would go home and I would start cooking, and that's kind of how this started. So that was the transition that I knew that what I was doing, I was getting so busy. I needed to get out of my house and open something because my kids were hungry. I had to start making other things. So that's kind of how that started. And then I found an old house that a gentleman owned, and he was going to own it. And he said, if you want to make this into whatever you want, I'll buy this house and you can turn it into whatever you want. And that's how Kate Bake Broadwell started.
But there's so many takeaways from that, right?
Yeah.
So you vetted this idea for not 8 months, 8 years, right? Which for a lot of people will be like, what, this is clearly not working. I'm going to give this thing up. You wanted to prove that concept as much as possible.
Plus I loved it, right? So I think if you don't love what you do, you have to love it because you're so in it every minute of every second of every day that if you're not doing something you enjoy, you're never going to succeed at it. So I truly love to cook. I love feeding you. Like it makes me happy to see you happy. And so it gives me goosebumps. Like if you don't love it though, then don't do it. And that's, I think, the reason why I'm still here is because I truly love what I do. Really.
I love the fact that you said love no less than 20 times. And
Yeah, I know.
But I think love is a word that's not used in business. You're like, oh, it's just, and I think it's so important. I believe, passion becomes so overused, but it shouldn't be.
As we're talking about recipes, it really is your secret ingredient. Love is in every single cake. And I want to go back to something you said. I knew this about you, but it continues to surprise me every time I hear it, is that you're self-taught. And I think so many people feel like, well, I can't afford to go to that one school. I didn't get that degree, so that dream passed me. But you didn't let that stop you. You said,
No.
I'm going to teach myself how to cook.
Yeah. I mean, why not? And it's funny that you say that because there's a lot of times when you'll be like, well, how does that ever happen to someone else? Like how they were so lucky. Like, how did they get to be like that? And I've always thought, well, why not me? Why not? Like, why would it pass me over? And why would fortune or good luck or good things in life happen to certain people? I truly believe that if you're a good person and you come from the right place all the time, then the path just kind of opens.
There's a lot of hard work that you have to put in before you can get lucky.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And
I'm sure the same thing. Like, as you started doing what you're doing, it didn't happen overnight.
Well, it's funny because just this past week, I have an idea, and I said to my husband, I have this idea, and I want to go meet with someone about it. And so I actually set the meeting. It hasn't happened yet, but it's a big idea. It's a big idea. But I said to my husband, well, why not me?
Right.
I can do it. Nobody else is doing it. And I mean, it's almost like to anyone watching this, that is the question that you should ask yourself. Why not me?
Yeah. I mean, you took an idea that you had out of again, it came from something personal. Like, why are there not more like nerdy Star Wars clothes for women? So I'm just going to make it myself. And you literally, you changed the industry. Like you did, you changed the entire industry because you had this passion-driven desire to create something. Nobody gave it to either of you. You put the work in.
But I think... Yeah. Of course you dream big. Of course you dream big. I'd be lying if I said I didn't. But to Gwen's point, where you love what you do, you pour love into the people that you bake for and cook for. And for me, that's what it was always about. I loved the fans. I love the fans. And so as I make designs, it was for the fans. It was for the community. And as it grows, you're just like, oh, okay, this is growing. Let me, continue to grow and dream with it. But it really is like, you take it day to day, and it's just each person, like the people we passed in the restaurant. That's who you do it for, and that's your why.
That's exactly right.
Yeah,
It's the most
It's
important.
the lady at the bar.
yes,
That's your what.
exactly.
Why is the most important question. Like when I work with people, it's the first thing I ask is, why are you doing what do you like? You have to have that very introspective self-examination. And I loved, as we were walking, that you stopped and you had those conversations. And you are, and I don't want to even say you're a master entrepreneur, something I've always admired about. I just had a conversation with somebody about you the other day, not to be weird. But as long as I've known you, when you meet somebody, whether they're waiting online hours to meet you, and at an event, you will stay there beyond the time that you're supposed to, because there's other people still in line. When you're talking to Ashley, the person you're talking to is the only person in the room.
Yep.
You give them their full attention. You're hearing the same thing. You're hearing different stories. You've been there like signing autographs and taking pictures for hours. And I've watched you at D23 at Star Wars Celebration. The fact that you continue to do that years later, every single event is really a testament to you, and the fact that you do still love what you do and you love the people and you understand that these people are the ones that helped you achieve that.
Thank you. I don't know why
It's
you're making me tear up because you reminded me of my grandfather, who you would have loved. He grew up
acting like your dad.
yes, he was like my dad.
Amazing.
Well, he's like my dad. It's actually my mom's dad. But my mom and dad are both just wonderful. Wonderful. I'm a product of my parents for sure. But my grandfather grew up very, very poor in Kentucky, and so poor where they could only afford one pair of shoes a year. So when their foot would grow, and it was usually the shoes were in the winter. And so by the summertime, if their foot grew, they were barefoot, like they had no shoes. But the lesson that my grandfather taught me, and he loved baking and doing jams, and so he would love that I'm here with you. But he said, you don't judge a person until you walk in their shoes. And I've never forgotten that, and I live by that. And so when I talk to someone, the reason I'm locked in is because I want to get, even if it's just 2 minutes or 3 minutes, I want to get as much in your shoes as possible. So you tell me, who are you? Where did you come from today? Why are you wearing that Star Wars shirt? Why are you here at the cake bake shop?
Right.
Because I want to get to know that person. And in order to get to know that person, you have to listen and you have to put yourself in their shoes. So thank you. That's a huge compliment, because I really do try. I try to shut out the world and just pay attention.
That's nice, because that doesn't happen very often.
I was saying, and especially I go to a lot of
Yeah.
Comic Cons and fan conventions. Not every celebrity, acts the same way, and it's disappointing. They say never meet your hero. No, go and meet Ashley, because she is going to. Because you exceed expectations of what people have in terms of that interaction.
Thank you. But also go meet Gwendolyn Rogers and Lou Mangello, because they're the same. But I am a little bit distracted right now because
She's kicking you under the cake, like, come on, Mangello, enough with the spoons. Let's go.
But this is the cake this is the cake. I cried in my kitchen when I ate it for the first time, but is also your award winning.
It is. And this cake originally, Baxter, who you met, who's now almost 28, this was his 9th birthday cake. But so when I entered this contest, they asked me to, write about why you like it. Why would you make it? What's the story?
Back at her.
And originally I had a layer of marshmallow in between. But as I would make the cake, if you ever tried to travel with it, the layers are so heavy, it would just slide off. And it was just kind of a hot mess. But I was like, okay, well, I can't make that, because it's not gonna hold up.
I can't do the Ashley eye flutter, but if I could, I would do it. Ladies, I turn around for 1 second, and there are not one, not two, there are 4 new desserts on these beautiful serving trays. By the way, again, every little detail matters. I love all the roses.
Thank you.
I don't know what just happened, but I'm really happy it did.
But I love that. Well, we're going to start with key lime pie. So my key lime pie is a little different than anyone else's. I made this for my husband's 30th birthday because he's not a big cake fan, but he loves pie. He's now 61, so I've been making this pie for 31 years. It is, I don't use any food coloring in it. It is just key lime, freshly squeezed key lime juice, key lime zest, some freshly homemade whipped cream, and lime.
It's almost invisible. Like as you sort of put your fork through it, you almost feel like there's nothing there.
Oh my gosh.
And a lot of people make it very, use a lot of gelatin. And so it's thick and dense. Mine is not because I don't.
Am I tasting little pieces of?
It's zest. That's low wine zest.
So Gwen, I admitted to you off camera, I said, of all desserts, key lime pie is probably my least favorite.
Right.
That's amazing.
Because it's not overly tart.
No, it's incredible.
We're very it's got a very heavy wine flavor to it.
I would devour that whole slice. Yes, I would.
For not being a key lime lover, that's appropriate.
I'm with you. I like key lime is not normally where I would go. And this is different than what you might find if you went down to Key West and the way it might be traditionally made. And I love that nice little thin layer of graham cracker crust on the bottom.
Ready for the raspberry bar?
I think we're ready. Two, very glittery. First of all, this is one of the things I love. So like Japan is my favorite place on the planet. I love Japanese food. And what I love about it is presentation is so important, right? We eat with our eyes first. Everything looks so beautiful. I'm not going to lie. When we first walked in, we've lost Ashley. She is in cake coma. When I first walked through this room, I said, oh, look, they have like these display cakes and
No, those are real cakes.
Because they look, even the cut pieces, they look like hero cakes, like they're there just to be filmed, not realizing.
You know what? This is a mindfulness exercise. It really is. I'm all about mental health. Like take deep breaths, like take a bite,
and that short
inhale, enjoy it.
I think all of your mental health Monday videos should just be shot right here.
I think so.
Every Monday morning.
Is that not the most magical, like, breakfast Pop-Tart situation you had ever had?
Isn't it?
It is.
But better.
So I'm not a sky guy. I'm a pie guy. That is so good. Because you're right. I think you could have that for breakfast.
You could.
You could even have that like a little late night after dinner cup.
Oh, well,
not that I'm not trying to interrupt you by any means.
So, I love lemon. I've never had your lemon bar.
Oh,
I've never had your
this
lemon
is going to be
bar.
a good moment for me because you're going to like it.
I was so excited.
It's homemade lemon curd on a little bit of a shortbread crust with powdered sugar. Done. That's it.
So, I've noticed everything that you've talked about. It's homemade this.
Yeah, like we
scratch
all those lemons that she's eating right now. I don't buy lemon.
And do this and do that. The ingredients matter. Like the preparation matters. Yeah, we'll come back.
Preparation absolutely matters.
And then it's just
So tell me,
so magical. So
Gwen, tell me why it's important, right? Because obviously you start a certain way.
If it's not good, you're never coming back.
Right, but ingredients are expensive. It's time consuming. It's labor intensive. And what normally happens is somebody starts off that way. They either make it big, they become popular, the dish becomes, and then what happens? Well, and now you need to sort of mass produce it. Now you're at Disney. You need to there's a lot of volume.
It happens every day.
It's very easy to sort of fall into the trap. Well, if we cut this back, nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. Nobody will notice. Again, it's a Walt would notice, right?
Yeah.
Walt would notice if the light bulb was out. Walt would notice if the ingredients weren't the same. Tell me why it's important to you that the ingredients that you made in your home when you first came up with these recipes are the exact same ingredients and the quality and the cost of the ingredients too.
It is the most important thing. I will never, ever, ever cut a corner, and that will go from any ingredient that goes in any dessert that I make or any salad dressing that I make or the bacon that gets crumbled on our salad. We put the bacon in the oven and we buy like really good bacon. I don't buy pre-crumbled anything. I don't buy pre-made anything because then I have no control over what the outcome is in the dish. So if I don't use real lemons, that lemon bar is not going to taste like a real lemon bar. It's going to taste funny. You're going to have some weird aftertaste to it. And you're going, yeah, I don't know. I don't really like it. Or it's going to make you not feel very good. Every single ingredient that is in any product that we make is a real ingredient. And that's going to make you not feel sick. You're not going to get like, oh, like if I eat like something that's out of like I'll eat a Keebler cookie or whatever. I'm like, oh, it doesn't make me feel very good. You will never feel that in anything.
We've had 47 pieces of cake today, and I'm still relatively conscious, and I don't feel that bad.
Because the ingredients.
You just passed out a minute ago, so. But I don't feel. But it was a good pass out. But I don't feel like I've had 47 pieces.
And I could cut costs on stuff, and I could make more money. I'm not making a lot of money, I'll be honest.
Right.
But that's not why I'm doing it.
Right.
I don't do it for that because at the end of the day, my name is on everything. If it's not something that I would eat or that I would make on my own or I believe in, then I'm never, ever going to serve it or I'm never going to make it for someone, ever. Even if I've never met you before in a million years, I'm still going to make you the same dish that I would make my best friend.
Right. And I mean, so let's talk about it, because when it for something like this is a premium product, right? It's not because I'm going to come up with a price that's going to give me 85% margins. There's not a lot of margin in the food industry. Like I know that, my parents owned a restaurant. I get it, especially for this, when you are using like labor that's doing it by hand, where you're using premium ingredients that you are importing. You could very easily say, well, we don't need to import that. Nobody's going to know if chocolate's not from France. You would know.
I built a room in my warehouse that is a completely different air-conditioned space to hold all of my chocolate because it's so expensive, and to hold all of my champagne. And it's a separate. It's like a little mini airplane hangar, and it's only for chocolate and champagne because it's that important to me. So I'll
some arms have like a sewing room. Some guys have like a cigar room. I have my chocolate and shit.
So if there's ever a hurricane or some horrible weather thing,
I'm going to your warehouse.
here we go. We will never starve to death. We'll eat chocolate and drink champagne.
Which you can now get on Disney Cruise Line.
Well, almost, yes. It's coming. Oh. It's coming right before Mother's Day.
Did you just?
Yes.
Did I do
that? So all the bubbles that are back there are going to be on the Disney Cruise Line.
Congrats.
Now I'm super excited about that. And that's also something that it's from connections and from people who love and support you, that if it wasn't for that, it never would have happened.
And that happened, I mean,
because of Ashley
finally cut the
and Gina.
It was a group effort.
So this is starting Mother's Day?
Starting on I think it'll launch a little bit before Mother's Day so that we can get.
What an appropriate time, because this is like, if my mom was still here, this is exactly where I would take
I
it.
know, my mom too.
Yeah.
Maybe they're up in heaven together having tea.
So it's going to be available on Disney Cruise Line. We should probably go. It's not that I don't believe it. We should go and.
Oh my gosh, we should totally.
That's our next day. It's our civic duty. It is.
And I love Disney Cruise. Absolutely. I love Disney Cruise so much.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, as I was texting the other day, she's like, "Well, I'm on a Disney Cruise." I'm like, "I know."
So fun.
Okay.
So here's you want to give the introduction on this one?
Yes. Okay. So, Lou, this is serious business, this pie. I have to admit, I thought nothing could move me off of my love of that chocolate cake. And our friend Gina was like, no, this is my favorite thing. You have to have the pie. And you talk about my eyes rolling in the back of my head. I took a bite of that. My eyes were just gone in the back of my skull. And I left my body. It was that good.
So I love peanut butter. I have peanut butter every morning.
You have it every morning?
Every morning.
Oh my goodness.
Like on like a banana, just like a little bit. Like there's something
special.
Peanut butter that I love the taste. There's something nostalgic and sentimental about it for me. So I think there's a little, like almost like an emotional connection to it. Putting peanut butter on a pie such as this, however, is next level. Considering you just passed out for the last, geez, we should get like a seatbelt and seatbelt you to the chair just to be sure.
I want you to take the first bite.
Oh, it is nice.
It just,
It is.
I mean, that's not what I was expecting. I was expecting it a more.
It's so good.
If you're listening to this you need to go and watch the video because it just can't.
This is so good. It's indescribable how good it is.
It is
What?
indescribable.
What are you doing? Why are you like
It's
this?
soft and it's creamy.
I know.
How do you get
It's
that?
sorcery.
It is.
It's literally sorcery.
It's so good. I'm so sorry.
It's pillowy and it's velvety, but not like in a heavy. Oh, it's just like sitting on my palate, and I've got this wonderful like
Such a good pie.
flowing river of peanut buttery goodness.
When did you come up with this?
I probably came up with that recipe. I'm going to say it's been probably 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And talk to me about the
It's
phase.
so it's chocolate cookie that I crumble up in a Cuisinart and then add a little bit of butter, and that's it.
I mean,
Pinch of salt. There's a pinch of salt in that crust. That's it.
this is
Yeah.
up at the top for me, for sure.
That's a good one.
And now, Gwen,
Yeah.
I want to ask, because I don't think, and we've really talked about this yet throughout the whole tour, why Walt Disney World? I mean, of anywhere that you could have gone to open up another location, why Walt Disney
I
World?
love it so much. I have 3 boys, right? I've also been coming here since I was 6. So my father brought me the year Walt Disney World opened. I've been coming ever since then. I would bring the second one baby was born. I have photos of them like 3 weeks old, and we're in Disney World. I was the mom with the baby Bjorn, the double stroller, the backpack. And we came probably 3 to 4 times a year. Couldn't afford it. How I did it, I don't even know how I did it. I really wanted to be a Disney Vacation Club member. My husband's like, with what? Like, what money are we doing that with? I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to just make it work. I took borrowed money from, I don't know, I think I got like a line of credit, and I decided to get a Vacation Club membership. And that was 23 years ago or something. Or whenever they first started with it, I was like one of the first people to get it. I've loved it. It was the place that made me happy. I would bring my boys, and they would never fight, and nobody was doing homework, and no one had to do laundry, and no one had to do chores, and I didn't have to do anything but be with my kids and be happy. And it is the happiest place in the world to me. And to be able to be here makes it literally is a dream come true. But when I first opened my first store, I always wanted it to feel like when you came in, you were somewhere else. Disney World and Disney in general has always created that feeling for me, that every time I was in a park or in a resort, I felt like I was in a different world. I was out of my own life, and I didn't have to deal with whatever, you're dealing with day to day. And, my husband traveled a lot, so I really raised my boys by myself a lot, which I loved. I wouldn't have done it any other way. But when we would come here, it was just pure joy all the time. And who wouldn't want to feel that every day? And so I'm super grateful and super fortunate and lucky to be here.
Can you share a little bit about sort of how that happens? How does it come to, well, I'd love to have a shop at Disney World too. I have a shop in the Boardwalk in Walt Disney.
That's a little bit of a long story. I was born in New Orleans, and not that the born part matters, but
What part of New Orleans? I love New Orleans.
I was born in Metairie.
Oh, I love it. My favorite city in the state.
Yeah, I don't even think the hospital's there anymore. I think it's all gone. Like, this is so long ago. But anyway, so when I grew up and became an adult, and I went and met my husband, I convinced him, because he worked in LA, to move to Sun Valley, Idaho, and I lived there for 32 years. And he agreed. And so we built our own house, and I was going to live in that house for the rest of my life. And then the world kind of fell apart, and 9/11 happened. And my husband, his dad passed away. Like, all this bad stuff happened. So I was like, okay, well, we're going to have to move out of our house so we don't lose our house, because we couldn't afford to pay the mortgage anymore. So I spent years building it, and then we lived in it for 9 months, and then I had to move. Mm-hmm. So to keep from losing it, I rented it. And I ended up renting it to a woman who was building a house on Enchanted Oak Drive in Golden Oak. And her name was Linda. And she rented it for the entire summer, which I couldn't even believe. I was like, who are these people? Like, they could rent it for 3 months straight. Over time, we became friends. And during that process, so I moved to Indiana so that I could rent my house out because I had to move out. And I lived with my mother-in-law with my 3 boys and my 2 dogs and a cat in the fat guest room because my boys didn't want to sleep anywhere else but with me. So we were all in one big bed together, and my husband was off working. And that is where it all kind of started. When Linda was building her house, she said, I love your house in Idaho. Where'd you get your sink? Where'd you get your lights? Where'd you get your this? Do you mind sharing your stuff with me? And so as she was building her home, she was taking parts of that, which then made me realize the parts of my home that I built, I love. So when I opened my first Broad Ripple store, I brought my lights. I got the same lights, which is the same company that makes the lights that are outside here. I brought the same kind of sink. I had that big, huge farmhouse sink. And so it made me feel like I was a little bit at home. So over time, Linda, and I became friends, and she said, I've been following you, and I've been open now in Broad Ripple for like a year. And she said, I'm having a CEO from Disney for dinner. You should send me a cake. I was like, I should, because I would love to be in Disney. And I've never shipped a cake before in my life. So I got like a 2 months notice that I had that she gave me. And I then shipped myself cakes from all over the place. I would then, if I flew to LA, I would ship myself a cake in LA, and I would take it apart and see what a mess it was. But eventually I shipped a cake and it turned out perfect. And that was Al Weiss. And Al Weiss said, I love your cake. I need to set you up a meeting with Mary Beth. And that was 10 years ago. And then I loaded up my Suburban, and I drove everything that I had that would represent my store down to Orlando. And I stayed at Linda's house to make all my cake and all my pie because I needed a kitchen. And she was nice enough to let me use her kitchen. But she didn't have a mixer. So Gina, who lived next door to Linda, said, well, I have a big mixer and you can use my mixer. And so that's how I met Gina. And then that story just evolved in over 9 years of me never letting them forget about me. And never letting them not think that, oh, maybe that's a really good idea. I would ship cakes constantly. I shipped them to George Calagridis. I shipped them to so many people. And that was another one that I learned from my Williams-Sonoma and my Oprah days is I just found an address of Disney and I just shipped a cake. And I didn't care if it got there, but if it did get there, then maybe it got to the right person. And then a month later, I would get a thank you note from George Calagridis saying, I got your cake. Thank you so much for sending me a cake. Jim McPhee was the other one. I mean, there was a bunch that I would just send cakes to, and they didn't forget about me. And I was very persistent, and that's how I got here.
Wow.
My brain is just exploding because I love the passion and the patience and the persistence and the perseverance and all the things. And I say all the time, no matter what business you're in the relationship business. Mm-hmm. You're in the relationship business with your fans. You are in the relationship business with everybody that walks in the door. And it's because of those friendships and relationships that this happens, that this happened. And I just love just every part of your story.
And it's so crazy that the only thing that makes sense is that I'm meant to be here. That was my path. I was, no matter what obstacle got in my way, this is where I was supposed to be because I was going to lose my house. We didn't have any money. I was like, I don't know how my life is going to turn out positive because everything that could go wrong went wrong. All those things happened to lead me here. I was forced to move out of my home that I was going to live in for the rest of my life. If I didn't do that, I never would have met Linda.
But doesn't it also make it taste better? When you have to work that hard and you feel like I should just quit, it's not going to happen. I was going to get a job somewhere when it eventually does happen and got a picture of you and Dick Van Dyke on the wall behind me.
That's another great story about how I got to that event.
So speaking of stories and Dick Van, there's another story I want you to tell very quickly, while we're talking about cakes. And that's the Marty Sklar.
I love that story so much. How do you know that story? Oh, is that on my website? I might have been.
This is the trial attorney, and I do more research.
Okay, this is my favorite story of all time. Might make me cry. So we go to D23. So Baxter, who you met, my oldest son, is a huge Disney fan. When he was in 5th grade, he was Walt. He dressed up and went to schools. So when he's older now, we go to D23. And we couldn't afford to go to LA, but I'm like, okay, we got miles somewhere. I'm going to make it work. So we go to LA. We wait in all the queues. Marty's there signing his book. We wait on purpose to be the very last person because we want a minute with him. We don't want to be shushed off and have the next person come in behind us. So we are the last people. I have that photo too. It's hanging. It's in my warehouse. Anyway, so we meet with him. Baxter wants to be an Imagineer. He gets his chance to talk to Marty, which is amazing. He gives us his email. I write him a thank you note afterwards. I was like, oh my God, it was the most amazing thing to meet you. He signs a book for us, and he gives Baxter great advice on what he should do and how to be Imagineer. We stay in touch. I said, Marty, you know what? You're so inspiring to me, but I'm going to make you a cake, and I'm going to make up a cake just for you because he's from California. He loves oranges and he loves chocolate. So I make him a chocolate orange cake. So I've got the recipe and I'm writing it down. And I said, I'm going to ship it to you, but I have to go I get to go to France because I was making a wedding cake for a friend that I met through when I did the Elton John cake. So I go to do, I said, but when I get back, I'm going to make a cake for you. And he's like, great, I can't wait. So in the meantime, he writes a beautiful email to Baxter about how, when his story is how you have the blank page and you get to write your own story and how amazing that is to be able to do that. So I get back. This is such a hard story to tell. And I'm so emotional, so I'm sorry. I get back and I send him an email and I'm like, Marty, I'm back and I'm going to make you a cake. And within 5 minutes, I get an email back from Leah Sklar, his wife. And she says, unfortunately, Marty passed away last night. And so, which is, and I cried for like 3 months. I didn't really even get to know him. And it still is like rocks my world. Anyway, so during their service, they have a celebration of life for him. And Leah writes me an email and she said, would you make that cake for Marty that you were going to make for him? So of course I make the cake and I send it, and they enjoy it at the celebration of his life. He never finished the Figment book. So his daughter and his wife finish it for him. In the back of the book, they write a little snippet about me and the cake in the cake bake shop and how much it meant to them. About a year later, D23 comes up again and they are both at the convention. And they see me in the back of the room. Not kidding. I'm in the very back. And at the very end, they call me up on stage and we hug and we kiss. And I'm like, oh my God, we can't believe you're here. And I couldn't even believe that they would remember who I was. And so now I have that framed on the back, like with the book and everything in my office. But it made a huge impact.
Amazing.
Love it.
And I would love to have that cake on my menu all the time. But it just was he made such an impact on me and on my son that I'm so grateful I got a chance to meet him.
And you put that cake on the menu for a little
It was
bit?
on my menu. I had it during when they did the celebration of his life. I had it on my menu for about a month. And it's my favorite cake. That's probably should be my answer all the time because it is. I mean, I had, I don't know, it's just beautiful. I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. It's incredible.
Yeah. I love it. I love that story. And thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. I've never seen that.
No, it's a good one. So.
So is this like the Ashley Eckstein cake? This is
Good.
If Ashley Eckstein hadn't had a cake named after her.
Okay, so you now is number two.
A hard decision. Oh my gosh. First of all, Gwen, thank you. Thank you for truly what is honestly one of the most magical days of my entire life, getting to do this with you and Lou, with you after 15 years of dreaming of doing this. Okay, it's a tie. It's a tie. It's a three-way tie. A three-way tie for me.
All right.
Between the chocolate cake, your Earl's Court chocolate cake, red velvet. Oh shoot, it's a four-way tie.
Oh no,
it's a four-way tie. Okay, chocolate cake, red velvet cake, cookie dough cake, and peanut butter pie. I honestly don't think that's a lot. That's a lot. But I don't think I could pick a favorite of those four.
You're stuck on a desert island. You can bring one cake and one movie.
That's the question.
One cake and one movie. What do you bring?
Ooh.
Okay.
Two.
Okay.
One cake and one movie.
The red velvet, and I didn't think that was going to be my answer, but the red velvet.
There was a large audible gasp from the audience when he said
And people are going to be mad at me when I answer it this way, but Notting Hill. I love Notting Hill.
Sweet love story.
I love Notting Hill. People are like, she didn't pick Star Wars. But no, I want, yeah. Anyways, Lou, okay.
Don't turn this around on me,
Well,
Counselor.
that's why we're here. You have to pick your favorite, and then I want you to answer too.
Okay.
First of all, I want to start off by saying I love you all. Wait a minute. What's the one? That's the cookie dough.
The cookie dough?
Mm-hmm.
But look, the carrot cake is like waving its little hands right in front, like, hey, don't forget it on me. Like, that's really good too. And then I'm almost sad that the blueberry was it 3 days ago? How long have we been here?
This week.
Like, it's between oh God, I love the peanut butter too. This is awful. I'm trying to, as much as we should all in our lives work to be more like Ashley, I'm trying in this case to not be like Ashley and choose. Those are my four. But if I had to be stuck on a desert island with one, could it be the blueberry lemon cake?
Wow.
Because I want to make sure I get my
Your
vitamins and
fruit
in
in.
there.
I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah.
What's the movie?
It's the Clone Wars, obviously.
Oh.
Are you saying that?
Yeah.
So
Yes. Yes.
But I'm scared.
It's the well, no.
Those are good choices. Those are good choices.
Good choices. Now, Gwen,
Me?
you're on an island.
I'm easy. Carrot cake and The Sound of Music, probably.
Oh, I love the sound of music.
As if there was not a perfect answer. Gwen's like, oh, here's the perfect answer.
Well, yeah. I mean, those are two of my favorite things.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a song in there somewhere. I just said.
I love it. I love it. Well, I love everything about this. Was this just a dream?
This, so I've been doing this for, we just passed 20 years of doing the podcast. I've been doing live reviews, interviews, and conversations. I like the cakes. I may have a top four, but this may very well be like the most truly magical experience. And it has almost nothing to do with the cakes. It has to do with the people. Oh, now I'm going to get all emotional.
Oh,
Like, I've known you for so long. You've always been so kind to me, so supportive of me. I feel like I've known you for so long. I love your, like, the parallels of your stories, right? This idea of pursuing your passion and doing what you love and then working hard and then doing something that brings so much joy to other people, right? Which I know has to,
yeah.
make you feel incredible. So, and I said it when we started recording about 6 hours ago, that the cake bake shop is a bit of a misnomer because these cakes are absolutely spectacular. And I am admittedly not a sweets guy. Before today, I was not a sweets guy. Now I'm officially a sweets guy. I need to get a shirt that says it.
I love it.
But there's a whole nother side to the cake bake shop. There's the savory menu for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's the bar. There's the drink menu. If it's okay, I'd like to invite myself back. We could do this again and
We'd love to have you back.
eat again. If you have never been to the cake bake shop, you most absolutely need to pay a visit more than once. Gwen, thank you so very much. Congratulations on this. This is nothing short of spectacular. Everything speaks. Everything matters so very much.
Thank you.
Ashley, what can I say? Hopefully it doesn't take 15 years. Is it saying now and for next time?
Well, we need a new dream. We've checked this one off. We need a new dream. So thank you, Lou.
Thank you. I think we need to go on a cruise and like pop a bottle of bubbly together on the cruise.
Okay, that's our new dream.
Would love to.
We'll see.
I'm not waiting 15 years.